Hello and welcome to another episode of Bitcoin in Asia. Our guest this week is Flex Yang, founder and CEO of Babel Finance out of Beijing and Hong Kong. With Babel, Flex is aiming to build the JP Morgan of Bitcoin. Initially attacked that more expansive goal by focusing on lending and other financial services targeting Bitcoin miners in China. Babel Finance is now one of the largest lenders in the industry and provides other services that we get into. Prior to entering the Bitcoin space, Flex worked in financial services and was the founder of a credit services-focused fintech in Beijing. And he's raised money from some of the most well-regarded VCs in China, including Zhenfund and Lightspeed. The first 20 minutes or so of this conversation covers Flex's background and experience with those previous companies and his experience as a founder in Beijing. And then we jump into Babel and dig into some of the more specific business lines that are being built out around demand from miners, from the more institutional players in China, and from the dynamic of Western companies and Chinese players not being fully connected in some ways still. So feel free to skip ahead a bit for the more Bitcoin targeted discussion, and I hope you enjoy this conversation with Flex.
Hello, Flex. For those that aren't quite familiar with you yet, can you start with a quick background and kind of tell us where you are?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for this interview. And actually, my background is quite simple because I got my education in China, mainland China, in Yunnan province, which is a quite relaxing place. So I have not been under like huge pressure like other Chinese students. I was so into physics back to high school, and my dream was to go to moon, simply because there are lots of helium on moon, and that's very important for humans' energy, so-called energy freedom. By applying helium to generate fusion power, and that was my dream back to high school. But I was lucky that I got very high score to I can choose freely between lots of university in China, and that was back to 2007. It was actually the first year that Hong Kong's universities they accept Chinese students, mainland China Chinese students, and coincidentally that I did enroll to that program. So I was admitted by City University of Hong Kong, which was unlucky for me when I was there at that age. But looking back, connecting the dots, I feel it's very lucky for me to go to Hong Kong for the university education. And in Hong Kong, I actually got education on finance and accountants and common law. So I changed a lot of my views of the world my views on the world, and I changed lots of things. I would say that my mindset has been totally changed when getting the education in Hong Kong. And I was not very into finance previously, but back to the university life, I got the I actually enrolled lots of courses from the famous professors in financial areas. So I actually changed my mindset on the finance as well. I was thinking that finance is something kind of scamming, it's fraud, it's whatever, bad things, especially during my university life back to 2008. It was the last financial crisis. So I think finance is something not good. But actually, after I get the appropriate education, and I totally understand finance itself is something good. The problem is humans greedy. It's not financial tools fault, but it's a human's fault. So I started my first entrepreneurship during my university. I kind of joined a team with my college mates, and we won the HSBC Global Entrepreneur Awards. And
oh wow!
We got in. That was the first time that City University of Hong Kong students can get this kind of award. But we tried our best, and we got these things to our like university. So we got lots
breaking boundaries. You're quite humble in the way you're framing all of this too. But that's a cool first entrepreneurial experience there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first entrepreneurship is actually on biotechnology. We apply the biotechnology developed by the professors in the university to do the food test and to do the hazard test. Because back then it was the crisis of the milk powder in China. So we got lots of attention, got the investment from the VCs, and quite cool experience. But I dropped from this company before the graduation, and because during the competition, actually I met the chairman of PricewaterhouseCoopers in Asia, and then he thinks I'm good because I was like a student in accountancy, and he thinks that PricewaterhouseCoopers could provide me a good platform to enhance this kind of experience in accountancy and assurance and other things. So I got my first job without interview into PricewaterhouseCoopers Hong Kong, and I think it's kind of interesting that because I knew the chairman, so I got very good kind of I got by the partners, by the like senior managers, so I got very good job. I mean projects in PricewaterhouseCoopers, not like others. They have tough assurance jobs, but my clients is actually AIA, which was a company went bankruptcy during 2008 financial crisis. So I got very good exposure to like the investment side or asset side of the insurance company. During the period of the PricewaterhouseCoopers, I actually got very deep understanding of these financial products, and like CDO, CDS, like a bond, like all the macro things. So that was the period I trained to be a good or professional financial and accounting guy. But back then I was not so into blockchain yet. That was the first time.
Not many people were.
I heard that was the first time I heard of Bitcoin. I think, oh, okay, another scam, or another fraud, this kind of thing. But this is kind of human bias, and people need to learn to change their mindset. Like in Goldman Sachs yesterday, the publication on the Bitcoin is kind of nonsense for me. I mean, they don't understand it, so I don't care. But it's good that Goldman Sachs can draw attention of the public. So there will be more people like me. I mean, back to 2011, not to read more things about Bitcoin. So the earlier you read more things about Bitcoin, you would be a lover or fans of Bitcoin. So
for sure, that report almost reads like it's from 2011. How kind of so it just misses.
So it was a good experience, but back then I think I got enough experience in PricewaterhouseCoopers, and I dropped from PwC, and I went back to Beijing for my second entrepreneurship. It was for like financial data services for the banks or credit company to help them to do the credit profiling for smaller or small medium-sized entrepreneur in China. So
you do your time kind of getting some initial career experience at PwC. Then you decide to make the move and found the company in Beijing, essentially, which is kind of a big move. You and it's in kind of the fintech space, I guess. Yeah, take us kind of through what you started to talk about with what that company did, who it kind of serviced.
It's a financial data service provider. It just helps banks or credit company to actually assess the credit profiling of the entrepreneur in China. Back then, I was thinking that the pain points for the banks is that they don't have enough data to actually provide credit to these so-called inclusive or unbanked people. But the problem there was not actually bank has no ability to do this. The problem is actually in China, the interest rate is actually not very, it's not running in a market way. Namely, a bank lend to a government, a state-owned company with the interest of 5%, and they can only lend to this entrepreneur with 5% or 7%. So if you have the same interest rate for like different kind of risk profile, what you choose? Of course, you choose to lend to those people who will not go to bankruptcy like a state-owned companies, right? So I went into wrong direction in the first entrepreneurship, but because my ideology and other things, this project attracted some like VCs like Zhenfund, a famous fund in China, and Lightspeed China's. So that was my first experience dealing with VCs, dealing with this kind of things. So I got quite trained up on the so-called entrepreneurship, like attracting fund from VCs and find out the right clients doing the right things during the right time. So it was my first time that was my first time to kind of organize a company as an organization, because in the first entrepreneurship I was just a partner. Yeah, but second one I was founder and the CEO, so I got trained up.
Yeah, I mean, raising capital from, like you said, some of the bigger names in China. Lightspeed, I guess, sort of around that time, was starting to look at some Bitcoin companies. I think one of the backers of BTC China close to back then. What was kind of the ecosystem for startups in Beijing at that point? This is, what year are we looking at? 2014, 15?
15. Yeah. 2014, 2015 is actually very good year for China's entrepreneurship. There are lots of funds there, and people are just looking for this, like VCs, PEs. They are just looking for projects that they just want to invest. They don't really care about your everything. They just want to invest. They just want to pull the money in. And
it felt like easy money.
Yeah. Like they got lots of money from different places, because in 2008 to 2015, in China, actually another like a few good years for China, and because back to 2008, after the financial crisis, China printed like 4 trillion RMB. It was big back then. It is so small now. I mean,
right. Looking back, those numbers seem quite quaint.
Yeah, because now the balance sheet of PBOC is 150 trillion. So why you can't call 4 trillion? But yeah, it was good. It was big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of ideologically, you're interested in kind of figuring out how to service those people who had trouble finding credit and banking back to these entrepreneurs. Just before we jump into Babel and your interest in the Bitcoin, what are your thoughts on the progression of that kind of capital access for startups in China, credit worthiness? Do you feel like there's been progress since 2015? How do you feel about that kind of infrastructure right now?
You mean back then, the infrastructure and comparison with current
yeah,
situation?
Kind of the problems you were trying to solve back then. How has that progressed?
There's no progress at all.
Okay.
You know,
and is that a function of the kind of regulation around interest rates that are?
Yeah. At the end of 2007, the regulation came in, and they caught lots of people from P2P industry, and they caught lots of people from this kind of data service company. Because back to 2008 and late of 2007 and 2008, 2017 and 2018, lots of new regulations came, and that the privacy of the citizens has been protected. Because before that, actually, we can get these ID information, lots of records of people without limitations. It was bad. I didn't realize that when I was doing the first company, but the second company. But now when I reviewed the the progress or reviewed my experience there, I was thinking it's not good. I mean, privacy of people has been breached, and I think China has been doing something good for protect the citizens' privacy, from the companies or from the data service companies, but not yet to themselves. I mean,
right. That is kind of the narrative that's here at least. It's interesting to kind of on a more granular level that the companies don't have access to it. It's more the kind of government adjacent entities. Okay, and then move to Beijing, startup, and kind of the fast life with that, and then kind of take us through the idea for Babel, how you got started there.
It was another coincidence because I joined the entrepreneur class or entrepreneurship training courses of JD Finance, Jingdong Finance, and I met He from Binance. He was in a kind of broadcasting company in China back to 2017, and during the class I actually learned the bit blockchain, and she was actually the mentor for me for the blockchain technology and the Bitcoin, and back then she has not decided yet to go to Binance. She stays in the area Puxiang, Wanjing area, which was the company our company located. So we are so close, and we can meet every day, for the morning training exercise, like morning running, this kind of thing. So I got more information on blockchain. I have been changed from this is scam, this is fraud, thanks to this is something that I was so into. I should be doing something here for this industry, because this industry can bring people new kinds of freedom. So I just after the trigger point for me is actually the regulation, because the regulation asks us not to do this anymore. So I dropped. I actually gave up on the second company, and I started Babel with Dell. He is my co-founder, and he had good experience in ICBC and good experience in entrepreneurships as well. He founded two data companies, and he got experience in Ripple, although back to 2013. So it was a very good combination for us to do some financial services in blockchain industry, especially for Bitcoin. So
and what was that? That's super interesting. Kind of the network there that you were a part of that launched you into this. What was kind of the initial idea for Babel? Kind of initial business model that y'all were working through, and then I guess take us through that kind of starting process, and then maybe kind of the current state of the business and your product offerings now.
Yeah, because back to 2018, in the in March, April, back then the market is still in a transition period from bull market to bear market, and back then we are thinking we got experience in entrepreneurship, so we know we need to find out the root of this industries, or what is actually the root question or root pain point of this industry. Because we have good experience in finance, financial services, so we understand finance. I mean, more than other entrepreneurs in blockchain area. We actually know that finance is actually a tool. I mean, to allocate risk and return on the space value and the time values. Space value is actually exchange rate. Namely, you have a chicken, I have a cow, that we exchange chicken and cow. It's kind of space value. And another is time value, interest rate. Namely, you have US dollar now, but you don't need to spend it. So you deposit to like a financial institution and to lend it to other people to earn yield. So it's interest rate. And back then, it's actually the major financial service provider is actually exchange, namely Binance, Huobi, OK, it's kind of a crypto exchange, and Coinbase and other kinds of legitimate exchange, this kind of thing. So this exchange are majorly providing the trading services. So we're thinking from the traditional financial finance view that there's another huge market for interest rate. It's debt market and banking services like lending, deposit, asset management, this kind of thing. So we started the business there with a vision to become the so-called JP Morgan in crypto marketplace. But of course, people in blockchain area, especially Bitcoin maximist or Marxist, they don't like the concept of banking. So we kind of changed from Babel Bank to Babel Finance, but actually we are providing the similar services. But I think people should regard finance as a good tool. But the problem is actually human. So finance is never wrong. The problem is human. So don't blame the financial institution, but blame the people in financial institutions. So we still insist on providing financial services to like Bitcoin holders, Bitcoin miners, and other related stakeholders. So we started there with the vision to become like JP Morgan in crypto marketplace. But we started with only our initial services actually to lend money out. So that's the first function of the commercial banking industry. And our experience in the entrepreneurship actually helped us a lot. We find the right direction with the right clients with the right time. Back then, there were lots of competitors in this industry like us. I mean, and back then I don't even know this kind of thing that called USDT, stable coins, this kind of thing. So I was my first deck actually have something about the stable coins. Namely, we need to have some new token for people to use as a US dollar. So my understanding on the industry has been improved a lot since then. I mean,
yeah. Well, you saw the need. You just didn't know that it was already being met in some form. That's interesting.
Yeah. So
and then
the other competitors spend lots of time developing applications, providing services to smaller users in China. But we found out that the key users of this kind of like lending product is was a miners back to 2018 because the market price was dropping, but people are not willing to sell the Bitcoin. So there was it. And we were very lucky that we have another neighborhood, which is pooling. So, and pooling started their Bitcoin pool services back to 2018, September 2018. So we grow together. We stick with them. We ask the the Kevin and the Chris to help us because we are a smaller company, and we just want to go with them to meet the miners, to drink baijiu with miners, to like this days. I mean, this week in Chengdu is just so amazing. I mean, people from different companies, even very. I mean, even those competitors, they have lots of arguments online. They just fight with each other. But back in Chengdu, it's friendship. Everyone drink with each other, and because maybe one reason is that after the virus, people were so keen to join the social activities.
And for people listening, one of the first large events in China is happening this week in Chengdu, and it's kind of a mining summit. I'm surprised you're not there. You really get along with those folks. But that's also an interesting insight that you had initially that kind of led to this rapid growth success, is that you said, hey, miners are kind of the first customer we're going to focus on. and then your office is adjacent to Poland, which may have been fateful for you, but so you have kind of the connection to start targeting that customer base in the first place, which is interesting. And can you give us a little bit of context also for what it's like to go after those initial clients? You mentioned, drinking Baijiu with them. You mentioned drinking Baijiu with them this week. Take us through kind of that customer acquisition process with miners. It's really a very different ballgame than traditional finance, I'd say.
Yeah, because initially, because we are a latecomers, like we are not like old men in this industry. Although this industry is very new, but still we have like old man, new man, this kind of thing. So we are new guys. We are young people, and they don't give trust to us. They didn't give any trust. Initially, back to late 2008, just the first few meetings with the first few conferences with pooling, people regard us as another group of scammers. So just say, I want to get my Bitcoin, this kind of thing. But trust is not built within one day. Your mind not building within one day. So we drink with them, but initially they don't trust us. So we need to show that we are professional guys. We want to make sure that they are willing to put coins here. So we just found the pooling and partners. Kevin has some good words on us, and then we started providing services with them to them. And then after a few runs, starting from smaller tranches, they feel that these guys are good. They never lie to us, and even they will lose money, they keep their word. So we have good words in the mining, like a social mining community. So we have more and more clients there. And although mining group miners are not the biggest portion of clients for Babel now, the biggest portion of Babel's clients is actually trading firms, trading companies. But we started there, so we never forgot this experience there, and we always we are willing to provide the services to miners forever. Even the mining industry has been changed a lot. Back to 2018, there are still lots of smaller miners in the industry, but after 2018 job and 2019, 2020 job, actually lots of smaller clients has been wiped out. The remaining players are quite institutional. They have good experience of the risk management, cash flow management, but this is something good for Babel, but it's not something good for Bitcoin from my point of view, because the miners are becoming bigger, and there will be monopoly, or there will be something not good or not friendly for the Bitcoin network, because some of the miners, as I know, that they have actually occupied around 30% of the hash power, and they are willing to take more than 50%. But of course, they don't want. They are stakeholders. They don't want to ruin the network, so they kind of divide into different pools and divide into different names. But still, I know that there's someone is coming with big money and to consume up. I think within 2020, they can consume up more than 50% of the hash power. So
that's a pretty big statement. This is something that people talk about as just kind of built into Bitcoin, and the incentive structure is meant to not exactly let this happen. Can you share more on this party that you're talking about that's aiming?
There's some special situation in China. That China is actually a capital control country. Normally, people cannot freely transfer money out or in. So some of the big money, especially during this political crisis recently, people are losing the trust or losing the faith into the government. So not the normal middle class. Those very, very, very high net worth individuals. So if they have if they have net worth more than like 2 billion RMB, they are quite freaking out now. So they are trying to find out some like a safe room or final heaven for their assets. So Bitcoin, although normal people will feel it's not something safe haven assets, but for these people, it's truly safe haven assets because their assets normally properties, equities, bonds. These are actually need to be certified by the government for the ownership. Namely, they need the government to say they own these assets. But in China, they are freaking out. So now they put lots of money into this mining industry to move the Bitcoin from China, or to sell the Bitcoin, or produce the Bitcoin in China and move them globally. I mean, for their final safe haven. They don't necessarily to own Bitcoin for their like 100% of portfolio in Bitcoin, but they only need 5% and 10% for their final like a emergency plan. So they came into this industry with big money. So I mean, I met some guys from this industry, and I know that they are consuming more and more hash power, and they are purchasing more and more mining machines from those from these giant mining machine producers. But I think it's good for Babel's development because we're easier. We are facing these professional clients, but I still feel it's not good for the Bitcoin network. So
yeah.
So maybe I mean 路边 pool is some proof for this. It must be some big miners they organize this kind of pools. So one bad evidence, I mean one not good evidence, at least not good evidence for me to be kind of cautious for the Bitcoin network. So if there's something like this happening, I think we need to do something. I mean we need to buy machines as well. I mean, even for Babel, if we are a stakeholder of this industry, maybe we need to fight against this kind of 51% of hash power ownership. So we need to buy, maybe we need to kind of do something for this. But also the Bitcoin core team, they could also do something like limit some kinds of a similar pattern mining algorithm, this kind of thing. So there's something that we need to be cautious. Otherwise, Bitcoin will be
big topic. We could go in a lot of different directions with that. Maybe save it for a little bit. So, but kind of on that topic a little bit. So you started out, most of your customer base, kind of your initial growth period, you're focused on mining. Now you have these other services, and majority of your customer base is kind of institutional now, exchanges, traders. Can you talk about how you think about growth in China versus outside of China? How you kind of view your company's just growth geographically? How you're thinking about that now?
I think it's different. I mean, it's not really like the geographical thing is actually the historical reason. Like Bitcoin had like 70% of new Bitcoin is mined in China, and lots of Western like United States trading firm they are looking for Bitcoin's trading opportunity. So this kind of Babel is in a very good position to connect West and East because miners needs cash. They need to pay this electricity. They need to buy new machines, and trading firms they need Bitcoin or Ethereum, this kind of thing. So Babel is playing a very good bridge to kind of fulfill two sides requirements. We bring cash from United States. Well, the US dollar is printed to China miners, and we bring the Bitcoins which is mined in China to US trading firms. So it's kind of a good bridge to actually to make the process highly efficient, and with lower cost. Because previously, I mean, I don't name them. There's big trading firm or big lenders in United States. They cannot go to China to drink baijiu with miners, but we can. We're quite grassroots people. So those miners in China, they have no very good understanding of financial system, so they don't have knowledge to negotiate the financial terms with the financial institution in the United States. So Babel has both things. We can drink baijiu with miners. We can negotiate the financial terms with the financial institutions. So we are performing a good bridge to make the process highly efficient and to make both sides cost of capital lower. Namely, we bring them lower cost of Bitcoin and we bring minus lower cost of US dollar. So I think this is a key role for Babel now.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think the growth is actually, it's kind of related to both China and the US. It's not something that we focus on Europe or
sure.
It's kind of mutual things. Yeah. I cannot do one side without another side. Yeah.
Sure. It's a great answer. Mm-hmm. And I think it'd be helpful to kind of drill down a little bit more into some of your business lines. You kind of talked about starting with lending. Now you do other things as well. Maybe kind of take us through your product suite a little bit, some kind of context for how it's grown.
Actually, Babel has been regarded as a lending firm for a long time, but actually our business line is quite complicated. Starting lending, and we also have asset management side. Currently, we contribute more than 13% of the trading volume on the Deribit, and we are number one taker on the Paradigm, the OTC option trading platform. So we are quite an important player in the options trading area for Bitcoin. The reason is that I think options pricing is quite quite complicated. It's lots of models and lots of Greeks there. So it's actually related to the initial topic we have been talking about, the space value and time value, namely exchange rate and interest rate. So after the interest market becoming more mature last year, the options trading desk could be doing more jobs, and because Bitcoin is a quite volatile asset class, as described by the Goldman Sachs. But normally we regard Bitcoin as quasi-currency, at least quasi-currency, or if it's not currency. So if we regard it as an asset class, the volatility of Bitcoin is quite high. So there's lots of opportunities in the option trading market, because options is more related to the volatility. Because the IV, implied volatility, is actually the key thing for options pricing. So as long as it's a high volatility market, there are lots of arbitrage, lots of sell the volatility opportunities in this market. So this market becoming more and more popular. Even other big counterparties, our Babel's big counterparties joining this market as well. So I think we are bringing the clients lots of structured option products to bring them the enhanced yield with expected return, with enhanced yield with the expected risk. Namely, we can describe the risk very, very well, and we let you know under this kind of risk what kind of return you can get. So people are quite into this assets, into this asset management products. And currently, our AUM of this product line is around 8,000 Bitcoins plus 18 million of US dollar. So it's quite early stage, but it's huge already.
And sorry, so this product that you're offering, you are offering options products to your customers, or you are offering them access to kind of your trading strategy on places like Deribit. You're doing
the second, the trading strategy. Namely, we built option structuring products. And we'll combine snowball structure. We combine different structures of the options to kind of make the risk and the return in line with each other, and to bring this structured product to the clients with the with the acceptable risk and with the acceptable return. So people are quite into this product because the risk is is calculatable, and the return is actually in line with the risk. So it's
And what is the what is the so that's a pretty large pool already, and I don't think it's been around for all that long. What is the kind of main customer base? What does the main customer for that look like now? Is it miners who or you're able to kind of explain the math behind it to them? Is it institutions? Who's kind of the main driver of that growth?
For the asset management side, actually, both miners and institutional investors are quite interested. But there's something developing here that we're also doing something on Ethereum, and we find out that for the Ethereum, institutional investors are more interested. But for Bitcoin structured product, both miners and institutional investors are interested. So quite even there. Yeah. So for the asset management side, currently Babel is a big buy side in the industry because we got lots of US dollar stable coins, namely, and Bitcoins on hand. So we are a big buy side in this industry. So we are trying to get more sell side here to see what they can offer, what they can offer to the clients. We are bringing some of the traditional financial institutions, trading desk, strategy, and if they have good strategy, we will run a little portfolio there, and a small portfolio there, and then after we test out, we will bring to the clients. So
interesting. To your point earlier on them not being able to come and drink baijiu with miners, but you can be that bridge and offer products that you've vetted to your client base in China. That's interesting.
Yeah. So besides the asset management line, we are also actually based on the asset management line that we are also offering the so-called private banking services to the high net worth individuals. Two groups. One group is actually the traditional mining or traditional crypto native investors. They hold big amount of Bitcoin, but they have nowhere to go. But and they got no service from traditional bank. Even Goldman Sachs is kind of company they cannot offer this kind of Bitcoin products. So we are we are early adopter for this kind of thing. So they like this. And for the another group is actually the traditional high net worth individuals in the traditional world, but they are quite interested in Bitcoin now. The reason is I just mentioned that safe haven for them. That they don't necessarily to hold 100% of their portfolio in Bitcoin, but why not 2% to 5%? So this is our next group of target clients, and therefore we are establishing a new Type 9 company in Hong Kong. Type 9, namely asset management licensed fund in Hong Kong. So we will have this company within next half year, and we'll bring this kind of legitimate asset management product to the traditional high net worth individuals. So for the crypto native ones, they don't really care because they know that the key is actually whether you are a trustable partner and how you store your Bitcoins and how you allocate your Bitcoins to a net legitimate or non-legitimate exchange, this kind of thing. But for the newcomers, the new high net worth individual group, they don't understand the Bitcoin, so what they need is actually a license. So we'll have this license in Hong Kong to provide this legitimate asset management program for the traditional financial high net worth individuals or traditional financial groups. Maybe they cannot really be on this stage because they are kind of company in China, so it's not legal to hold Bitcoins in China for institution. So maybe they will have some overseas SPV to hold this kind of Bitcoins, and it was quite common for this company to hold overseas assets through SPV. So it's actually normal practice. So this is private banking services, and our this year one of the very very big target is actually to to provide prime brokerage services for the trading firms. Because when trading organization or trading firms are actually the biggest clients of our biggest clients of the Babel platform or Babel Finance, but they need to borrow money or borrow Bitcoin from us and then send to exchange to do the tradings to do the trading executions. So from the Babel's point of view, quite like Genesis, what has been doing, they want to provide prime brokerage services for their clients. We are also in a very similar position because we have a big balance sheet and we have a very good bargaining power against the exchange, and we have risk management system for them to trade on the exchange. I think
something that's in the news today with Tagomi being acquired by Coinbase.
Yes. So
this morning,
because Coinbase is not willing to call Tagomi daddy in the future, so they're quiet. It's like Facebook is not happy to call like a Instagram daddy or as daddy, so they're quiet. Because in the future, I think we still copying the system of traditional finance. Namely, we need brokers or brokerage services in this industry because there are lots of exchange in the industry. So if you want to gain the arbitrage opportunities in this between different exchanges, you definitely need this kind of brokerage services that could provide you portfolio margin services. Why I address the portfolio margin here is because for the exchange now in the industry, they for the Asian exchange, they have no such ability to provide these portfolio margin services to their clients. Namely, they can only ask you to either you do spot trading, either you do margin trading, either you do future trading, either you do option trading, but they cannot. They have no enough financial guys or enough financial knowledge or understanding to develop such a portfolio margin thing. But it's something that Babel has been having it. Namely, naturally we are a team to do this kind of thing. So we actually lots of people are trying to understand prime brokerage as trading execution, but actually prime brokerage is not the value of the value provided by prime brokerage is not on trading execution, but rather than the portfolio margin things. Namely, the trading firm can spend or can put less coins in the exchange to do more tradings. So this is some values Babel can bring to, like Tagomi can bring to Coinbase clients, like Babel can bring to our clients, like Genesis can bring to their clients. So this is one of the biggest target this year, but it's not an easy job. The key challenges are the system, the trading portal. This is one. Another thing is actually portfolio margin, because this market is very, very volatile. So another like a Black Thursday will just ruin the system. So we will be very cautious, and we will kind of protect clients' interest on this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So we will do it slowly.
So we're getting pretty ambitious with kind of the private banking, some prime brokerage aspirations. Your derivatives AUM is 90 million already. You are also so you're doing all these things, have all these ambitions. Any other, I guess, products that are in the suite now that are worth mentioning?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much all of them. And actually, after we can provide this kind of services to clients, well, very close to JP Morgan already. Because when you click on the JP Morgan's IR page, investor relation page, their services including commercial banking, private banking, and asset management, brokerage services, all these things. And Babel is just actually for CeFi. I mean, there's arguments between DeFi, CeFi things. For Babel is actually now a CeFi thing. So what we are doing is not on the innovation of technology, but we are trying to copy the financial services from the traditional financial world to crypto marketplace. So next step maybe for us after the PB, just one thing that after PB, maybe we're trying to build a decentralized CCP in this industry. CCP is central counterparty, namely like a central bank or whatever, but a central counterparty, there's good thing about central counterparty, namely the association could help the members on the CCP to deal with each other with credit. Currently, Babel needs to borrow money from the counterparty with collateral sometimes. But in the future, maybe we can borrow from if they are all the member of the new association, decentralized association, we can borrow with each other by staking into the association with like Bitcoin or Ethereum or stablecoins, this kind of thing. As long as this member stake like 5 million or 50 million of Bitcoin or Ethereum into the system, the other counterparty could have the credibility for them, have the credit of 50 million to this counterparty. So this is something that we are thinking, but it's something that Ripple has been doing back to 2013 because they have gateway system. Namely, you need to trust another counterparty with a staking. But we are trying, but it takes time. Yeah,
for sure. And something you kind of hit on and talking about some of the risk management around the prime brokerage, Black Thursday. You have coined it there. Can you talk a little bit more about your kind of risk management processes, thoughts, how you're approaching things following Black Thursday, if any differently?
It's actually the methodology are not different, but the buffer is bigger now. I mean, before Black Thursday, we have less buffer than current the risk management buffer. The key things has not been changed because the risk of this market are still this few risks like market risk, price risk, like liquidity risk, like counterparty risk, like a systematic risk, this kind of thing. The nature of the risk has not been changed before Black Thursday and after Black Thursday, and even after Black Thursday, the market becoming more healthy with more institutional players coming, like Tudor, like Renaissance. If they are doing the arbitrage trading on the CME, the so-called February premium event will not happen anymore, because the Black Thursday was actually a result of two major things in this industry. One is February premium, namely back then there are very huge premium between the spot and future, between the future and the spot. So it's because of the trading firms and miners are too leveraged. But if with this new arbitrage fund strategy like Renaissance and Tudor fund, this kind of premium will be wiped out. So that will be healthier for this market. And yes, after the crisis, people get more cautious and trading firms get more conservative. So these are good things that we have been finding out.
Yeah, interesting. Any Tudor, those names are big ones worldwide, but are familiar to people in the West. Any kind of action worth mentioning from kind of big Chinese firms that are well regarded, kind of jumping in kind of the same time frame?
Sorry, I may miss your question because I replied one thing to the client.
Hey, no worries. You have to be hands-on still for sure. So you mentioned Tudor and these firms have joined recently are well known in the West. Is there any would you add any Chinese firms or firms out there that have jumped into the space recently that maybe haven't got as much attention but are working with similar sophistication in AUM?
No public joining. this market, it's quite because regulatory framework here is quite not friendly to crypto. So not yet publicly joined, but I know there are some SPVs for them to has been engaging in this marketplace.
Yeah. Can you talk a little about your custody strategy and how you think about that for your different customers and business lines? I know you have some partners listed for different things on your site. Talk about your custody.
We have been engaged with those famous custody service provider in the world, but not yet Fidelity. But we are trying to onboard with Fidelity as well. But we have two strategies. One is for the crypto native one. One is for the traditional financial guys or traditional people. So for the native crypto native guys, we have our own cold storage system. We have engaged with some custody service for the warm storage. But for the cold storage, we maintain them ourselves with the proven technology like electrons and ledger, or electron with cobalt or other things. But for the traditional guys, we engage with those famous custody service provider like Fidelity backed and other custody service providers. I think we need to look at things divided separately. So we have different strategies on that. Yeah. And for the strategy dealing with those exchanges, we are thinking to do on a credit base. Namely, we have some margin there, and we have the T+1 settlement credit, for 50 million, this kind of thing. So we have been doing the trading for 50 million, but the settlement will be T+1. So we don't need to put lots of coins in the exchange in case because this is the inherent risk of this industry, the counterparty risk of the exchange. But for Coinbase, of course, you can put more because they have license, whatever, this kind of thing. So we also need to assess the credit profile of the different exchanges and the different custody service providers to see how we allocate these coins.
Yeah. How big is the team now, by the way, in China and then in Korea? I think you have an office also.
Actually, we are facing a quite big challenge here. Normally, we say that we have 60 people around, but now we have been divided, like Hong Kong company, and Beijing tech team, and Beijing operation team, and Beijing PR team, this kind of thing. Because currently in Beijing, the regulatory framework is not friendly to crypto, so the government, the regulators here just want us not stay in Beijing, because they don't really want to think about it, because this market is still very small for them. Like it's just 200 billion market, right? $200 billion US market, but comparing to their 150 trillion balance sheet, they don't have too much energy for bringing new framework like framework to this, but not like Hong Kong, Singapore. There's a kind of island country or island place or area. They need to benefit from the global trading business, especially like Bitcoin, this kind of global assets. So they are quite friendly to crypto, and they spend energy into it to build up like a regulation framework. And then for the United States, it's easier because they regulate these things as securities. So not yet on Bitcoin, but I think because yesterday Goldman Sachs said that Bitcoin is kind of security, but not an asset class. I don't understand why they talk like that way, but maybe in the future, Bitcoin will be regarded as security in USA, and maybe ETF is coming, so it will be regulated as security. So it's easier. But for China, it's kind of, they don't want to spend energy on that. As long as you don't provide services to the everyday users, as long as you don't touch fiat, I don't want to give a shit. I don't want to give a fuck on you. But the problem is that if they don't want to give a fuck on to us, then we have problem dealing with our clients and with our colleagues. So we are now divided into lots of companies and maybe a technology company, operation company. So maybe it's
things you don't need to be spending time on when you have all these clients and services operations to be handling day-to-day. It's just kind of makes it more difficult to operate there, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah, but this is also an opportunity for us to try out the decentralized way of working. Maybe it's the future. People, after we have technology advancement in the future, maybe it's a future company's organization structure, namely the different freelancers everywhere, and you provide service to another organization or another people, and you earn Bitcoin, right? So that's easier.
Yeah, maybe. And you touched on something in kind of explaining your business lines and kind of the ecosystem there. That currently we're still kind of building the same banking system again, but for Bitcoin. You talk about kind of remote work. Maybe there's some things changing. What are kind of your thoughts on what Babel, what a banking institution looks like in 2 to 5 years here? What's kind of your aspirational thought on that? You mentioned kind of a decentralized way a couple times.
Yeah, currently there are two ways of exploring the digital banking. One is traditional ways like WeChat, Alipay, and the digital bankings digital banks in Hong Kong, in England, in Britain, and in USA. And another way is our crypto native ones. We deal with only tokens, cryptos, Bitcoins, this kind of thing. And we are both working on the digital banking future, and they are doing something like a more traditional, and we are doing something, although our business model is traditional, but with a new weapon or with new infrastructure. So both parties are working towards the end, namely the open finance or open bank. But I think both are good try, and we learn from them. They will learn from us, and maybe in the future we will combine. But I don't have a clear view on that. But I still believe in crypto area because although we are under big pressure on the KYC, ML things, but we have two gateways here. One is so-called traditional way of compliance, and another way we still can provide quite decentralized financial services there. So I think we are in a better position compared to those challenging bank, but I think time will tell.
Yeah. And then to kind of close out, we close out the show with a recommendation from you for anything related to where you are. So y'all are in Hong Kong, you're in Beijing. Just give us a recommendation. Can be a book, can be a place to eat, can be a site to see. Just give us something that listeners should do next time they're in your neck of the woods.
Buy Bitcoin.
Buy Bitcoin. All right, that's the best. Anywhere you are. Perfect. Well, Flex, really appreciate the time. I think that we could dive into some of these things in a lot more detail even, and your fountain of knowledge and experience with it. So appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Reminder, all of the content in this episode is for informational purposes only. You should not construe any such information or other material as legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. Nothing contained in this presentation constitutes a solicitation, recommendation, endorsement, or offer by BTC Media, the Let's Talk Bitcoin podcast network, or any third-party service provider to buy or sell any securities or other financial instruments.